If you want to start using video for your business, then that means you have to show up confidently. So today we're talking about how you can speak naturally on camera. Let's get right into it. If you're new here, my name is Liz and I help coaches and consultants add video to their business. Make sure that you subscribe so that you never miss any of my future content. Now, this is one of the most requested things that my clients ask me when we first start working together. They say, Liz, I know the content, I know that I'm an expert on this topic, but somehow when I face the camera and I start talking, I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. This is such a natural response for many of us. The topic of camera fear, in fact, is a very real thing. People sometimes become completely blank, frozen, and start stumbling over their words. There's so many reasons for this, so make sure that you look at some of my other YouTube videos where I've talked about how to get over camera fear. But if you really want to start speaking naturally on camera, then there's a couple of things that you can do just to prepare yourself for that journey, because it is a journey. Not a single one of us just wakes up and presses record and just starts speaking naturally like this. There are steps that you can take that can help you show up more confidently, more poised, and more polished. That way, your audience gets the impression that yes, in fact, she is talking from a place of authority. She is relaxed while she's talking, so she must be really comfortable with this topic. And it becomes far easier for your viewer just to kind of lean into your message. So today we're going to talk about 6 different things that you can try so that you can speak more naturally on camera. Let's jump right into it. Now, the first one is the biggest no-brainer, and this is going to be the one that people skim over the fastest because they'll think it's not relevant to them. That is, prepare yourself. Even if you are an expert in that topic and you know it like the back of your hand, speaking to the camera might not be something that you're an expert in. So remember that now you have this additional element that you have to add to your expertise. So when you are preparing yourself, that means to know your material 100%. You should naturally be able to speak about it anyway. It's absolutely okay to have notes off to the side while you are actually shooting your video. Many people do this. Even when someone shows up looking flawless on camera, just make note to yourself that they probably have some points off to the side that they are referencing in between. Or if you see them shooting in one long stretch, like for example on a live stream, if they're not referencing notes, it means they have drilled those points into their head long before they ever pressed record. So do your best to organize your outline of what it is that you want to say with as few points as possible. Try not to fully script out what you are going to say. Instead, just have a couple of points and spend ample time even before your shooting day to go over those points in the order that you want to say them. Once you get that flow into your head, it becomes far easier to just speak naturally to the camera. Imagine I asked you to record a 1-minute video talking about your favorite dessert. You would not have to reference any notes because that is a topic that you could talk about naturally because you know that topic like the back of your hand. So this is what I mean when I say review the material that you're going to present in that video so that you know it like the back of your hand, and then half of that work will be done. The second thing that you should do to ensure that you speak naturally to the camera is be yourself. Again, this one sounds like a no-brainer, but you would be amazed how many people forget this. The problem with consuming a lot of content is that sometimes we end up seeing the way that other people are presenting on camera, and then we just naturally try to copy some of those behaviors or some of that vibe. I always say this, there's only one Oprah Winfrey. She's busy being herself, so none of us have to try to copy her. Similarly, just try to show up on camera almost in the same manner that you would if you met a potential client at a cafe. If you met someone at a cafe and you wanted to discuss business or you wanted to tell them about your service, you would absolutely be showing up in a professional manner, but you would still be relaxed. So try to copycat that exact vibe when you are creating videos. That way the person who is watching it will get a real good sense of what you just naturally are like. This will help them to make a purchasing decision as well, because people like to buy from people whose vibe they connect with. So if you try to show up like somebody else, talking in a way that other people talk, but not really reflective of yourself, what's going to happen is your viewer might bump into you somewhere else on social media and feel like all of these different vibes that they see from you don't really match up or connect, and then that's not going to work in your favor. The third way that you can help yourself speak more naturally on camera is to use positive body language. That means either sit up or stand up straight. Don't be slouching in any sense. And try to show your hands if possible. Depending on the type of shot that you're taking, sometimes your hands might be out of the frame. But if your hands are in the frame, then practice speaking with just natural gestures. You don't want to be waving wildly. I've talked about this in other videos as well, but just something that is very natural to you. That way, when you are using that natural, positive body language, people lean into that message a little bit more because it's almost like meeting you out on the sidewalk somewhere and having a conversation. And above all things, don't forget to smile. Now, I understand that sometimes the content might not be so smile-inducing, like if you're talking about spreadsheets, for example. But remember that you are still talking to a person on the other side of the camera who is watching this. So at the very least, smile thinking about them. Just keep a nice, natural, light smile on your face. And if that is something that you keep forgetting to do whenever you make videos, then just write smile or draw a smiley on a post-it and then stick it right next to your lens so that that can just help to trigger your memory. Now, the fourth thing that you can do to speak more naturally on camera is to practice enunciation. When we're in real life and sitting just a meter away from a person or standing somewhere and chatting with them, we have a tendency to talk a little bit faster and we also swallow some of our words. But in a real life environment, that's not so bad because that person can pick up on it. They're sitting close enough to you that they can fully hear what you say, even if you swallow half of those syllables. And your own live body language is kind of continuing your conversation for you. But on video, none of that works. If I was standing with somebody in real life, I might have a tendency to talk like this. Hey everybody, so today I've got a masterclass going on later in the afternoon and I'm going to be putting out a couple of slides and I have to just go home and prepare for that. That might be how I talk when I'm standing next to somebody. But did you notice how mumbled and muffly and annoying it might have just sounded for you to actually hear that on camera? So this is something that I notice with a lot of my clients as well when they first start working with video. The same way that they speak in real life is what they try to duplicate on camera. Instead, on camera, you have to enunciate and stress every single letter, every single word. And you do have to speak a little bit slower than you normally would in real life. This is the only way that the viewer can actually capture everything that you're saying. Don't forget that when you're not in a live environment and someone is just looking at you through a screen, you lose a lot of the message. So to compensate for that is why you need to actually enunciate your words. Now, in some previous videos of mine, you may have noticed that I often encourage people to speak faster on camera. So let me take a little diversion here just to clarify why now I'm saying you need to speak slower. When you are shooting videos that are at least a couple of minutes in length, for example, a YouTube video, I always recommend that you speak a little bit slower than you do in real life. That's because that viewer knows that they are settling in to watch a video that's at least a couple of minutes long. So if they really want to capture that information, you have to say it a little bit slower than you would in real life. On the other hand, if you are creating video content for Instagram Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts, any of that short form content, usually those viewers are not sitting there ready to learn a whole bunch of information from your 30-second content. They're just kind of scrolling and scrolling. So in that case, that entire vibe of those formats is more snappy and peppy in general. So if you show up for a 30-second reel speaking just at a slower pace, you're not really going to hold the attention of a person who's scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and just wants to get a little bit of information and then keep moving. So for that reason, considering what those platforms are like, you want to speak in a little bit more of an upbeat, peppier, little bit faster manner. That just keeps them interested, engaged as well. Now we're interrupting this video so that I can remind you to subscribe. I think you should do that first. And if you're interested in getting on video and adding it to your business this year, make sure that you look for the free resource in the description below. Just click on the link and I will send it to you right away. Now let's get back to our video. Now, the fifth thing that you can do to help yourself speak more naturally on camera is to use relaxation methods. Part of the issue with speaking comfortably and confidently on camera is that you might just have a natural nervousness around the entire process. So make sure that you check out my other video here where I talk about some ways that you can relax in front of the camera. This is really important to do, and it's something that you shouldn't just ignore and feel like, oh, well, I'll just get used to speaking in front of the camera, so let me just push through. Yes, you will, but why do you want to make it harder for yourself? There's a lot of relaxation techniques that you can use just to kind of settle yourself, and I bet that at least one or two of them are going to work like magic for you. You can use them for your whole life long. For me, the relaxation technique that I use if I'm going to shoot a really important video or do something live is that I watch a little comedy clip, like 60 seconds of something. That just makes me laugh and it releases all the good hormones, and then I'm totally relaxed when I come on camera. So try something like that and see if that works for you. Now, my sixth tip for you so that you can start speaking more naturally on camera is to get in the game. So what do I mean by this? This means that you need to have 100% clarity on your topic, and you need to have 100% passion about it. If you talk about topics that don't really float your boat that much just because you think the algorithm likes it or somebody somewhere might like it, that is going to be evident on your face. This is the one critical thing about video. Everything shows up here, so you can't really hide how you actually feel about what you are saying. So if you're not crystal clear on the actual subject matter, spend time reviewing it and learning it. Or if you're just not that passionate about the topic, either scrap that topic or delve a little bit deeper into it so that you can find some more storytelling methods around it or find a way to relate it back to you personally. So that way you can make it a little bit more engaging. The other way that you can get in the game is to spend time practicing how to speak looking into the camera lens. Not enough people spend time and prioritize this, but it makes such a difference. When you are regularly looking at the lens, especially when you're on a Zoom call or you're presenting something on Zoom, or just when you're making a video like this, if you are not looking at the lens, right away the viewer feels that disconnect. So why would you want them to feel like you're just kind of there to make the video and not really to engage with them? So spend time practicing how to actually get this done so that it comes naturally for you. Once you spend time practicing how to find the lens and how to look right into it, you can record any video on any device and you will know how to do this without any awkwardness. This will do wonders because your viewer will always feel like you are just speaking to them. Not that you're just putting content out into the world, but you have specifically set aside your time so that you can dedicate the message to them. This absolutely will make you look like you are speaking more confidently and more naturally on camera. So if you like this video, I hope that you will give it a like, share it off with one of your friends. Don't forget to subscribe because every single Tuesday, I bring you a new video teaching you how you can add video to your business. So until next time, take care.